The universe is held together by things that do not exist. If you believe the universe operates by clear laws, measurable forces, and visible particles, then modern science has bad news for you. Most of the universe is governed by things we have never directly observed, not misunderstood, but never seen even once. The universe is illogical, and mathematics discovered it. When astronomers mapped the universe, something deeply troubling happened. The numbers did not match what they expected. Stars at the edges of galaxies move so fast that the entire galaxy should have flown apart, like a CD spinning too quickly. But that did not happen. The galaxy stayed intact. According to every law of physics humanity knows, this should be impossible unless something invisible is holding everything together. That something was given a very modest name: dark matter. It does not emit light, reflect light, or collide with atoms. You could stand in a room filled with dark matter and feel nothing at all, but remove it from the equations and the universe collapses instantly. There would be no galaxies, no structure, and no us. The universe, it turns out, only works because of something no one has ever seen. The hunt for something that does not want to be found. Scientists did not stand still. They built detectors deep underground, beneath mountains, and under the ocean. They cooled metals to near absolute zero, hoping dark matter would accidentally collide with them. Then they waited for a long time. No signals appeared. No collisions, no response. Dark matter behaves like a polite, invisible presence. It affects everything while refusing to communicate. Even worse, it does not clump like ordinary matter. It forms invisible halos around galaxies and controls the motion of billions of stars, like a conductor no orchestra can ever see. And then the universe did something worse. If dark matter were the only problem, that would already be unsettling. But near the end of the 20th century, the universe went even further. When scientists measured the expansion of the universe, they discovered a shocking truth. The universe was not slowing down, it was accelerating. There was no obvious pulling force, no braking mechanism, and no clear reason. Something was pushing space itself apart. That something is called dark energy. If dark matter holds the universe together, dark energy is what inflates it. What silences the room is this: dark energy makes up nearly 70% of the entire universe. In other words, most of reality is made of something we do not understand. The future of emptiness. If dark energy continues doing its work, one day galaxies will drift so far apart that light will never be able to reach them. Future civilizations will look up at the night sky and see nothing at all. No galaxies, no clues, no history. The universe will erase its own traces, and all of this is governed by something that has never been directly measured. Gravity, the force that refuses to play by the rules. Gravity is the most familiar force. Drop an object and it falls, planets orbit stars, and galaxies spiral through space. Everything seems stable, reliable, and almost friendly. That is true until gravity is pulled into the quantum world. There, everything breaks down. The equations stop converging, the numbers rush toward infinity, and the theory turns against itself. By physical logic, gravity should have a force-carrying particle, just as photons carry electromagnetism. That particle is called the graviton. But here is the problem: no one has ever observed it. There are no traces, no signals, and no statistical evidence. If the graviton exists, it is so weak that detecting it would require an experiment nearly the size of the entire solar system. That is beyond human capability. Without the graviton, gravity becomes a force without a messenger. It is an effect that appears everywhere but leaves no fingerprints. The universe is operating through a mechanism it does not allow us to directly test. When two great theories refuse to shake hands. Modern physics rests on two pillars. Relativity describes a smooth, continuous geometric world, while quantum mechanics is discrete, probabilistic, and chaotic. Both are true, and both are accurate to a frightening degree. But when they are placed together, they cannot coexist. Apply quantum mechanics to a black hole, and the mathematics breaks apart. Apply relativity to fundamental particles, and reality becomes absurd. Gravity stands in between, belonging fully to neither side. It is the mismatched piece, the thorn in the system, the thing the universe seems determined to keep blurred. Cum daughter done force. A suspicious perfection. Inside every atom exists a force so strong that it holds protons and neutrons tightly together. despite their electrical repulsion. This force is called the strong nuclear force. What makes it strange is how perfect it is. According to mathematical models, this force should behave more chaotically, violate symmetry, and produce irregularities. But it does not. It follows the rules with suspicious precision. To explain this, scientists are forced to assume the existence of another invisible field, quietly keeping the strong force in check. A control mechanism, a balancing system. That mechanism is believed to exist throughout the universe, yet it has never been found. Not because it is rare, but because it does not want to be detected. The vacuum is not empty. Now let us talk about nothing. Two metal plates are placed extremely close together in a perfect vacuum. No electricity, no magnetism, no heat. Yet they move toward each other without any visible push or pull. Empty space itself causes this to happen. This reveals an uncomfortable truth that the vacuum has pressure, energy, and behavior. Space is quietly working behind our backs. And when scientists try to calculate that energy, the result is a disaster. According to mathematics, vacuum energy should be so powerful that the universe would have exploded the moment it was born. But clearly, that did not happen. So only two possibilities remain. Either the mathematics is wrong, or something is holding all of that energy back. And that something is invisible. The fifth force, the ghost that is always, almost caught. For decades, physics believed the universe had only 4 fundamental forces. It was neat and complete. But every few years, somewhere in a laboratory, a strange signal appears. It is very small, very weak, and does not belong to any known force. Scientists give it a temporary name, the fifth force, but it never stays for long. When experiments are repeated, the signal disappears, as if the universe is saying there is something here, but do not look too closely. At one point, a research team detected a strange particle during atomic decay. They gave it a nickname, and the scientific community held its breath. Then everything went quiet. There was no confirmation and no full rejection. It simply was not seen again. If this force exists, it could be the bridge between the world we can see and a world we can never touch. For now, it remains only a whisper in the data. Magnetic monopoles, something that should be everywhere. Every magnet has 2 poles, north and south, and they cannot be separated. This has become so familiar that it is rarely questioned. But mathematics is not satisfied. According to several deep theories, the universe should contain magnets with only a single pole, isolated, separate, and perfect. These are called magnetic monopoles. If they exist, they would explain many uncomfortable problems in physics and make the equations elegant again. So humanity began to search. In particle accelerators, in cosmic rays, in ancient minerals, and even in rocks brought back from the moon. Nothing was found, not a single trace, and not a single anomaly. It is as if the universe erased an entire type of particle just before we learned how to see it. Or worse, they are still here, but too rare, too weak, or too indifferent to our reality. Vacuum energy, the locked bomb. According to quantum mechanics, empty space is never truly quiet. Virtual particles constantly appear and disappear without end. When scientists add up all of this energy, they arrive at a number large enough to tear the universe apart billions of times. Yet the universe remains here, stable and silent. Something is canceling out almost all of that energy. No one knows what it is. It could be a hidden field, a balancing force, or a law that has not yet been written. Or it may be that we are living in a temporary state. And if the universe ever changes its mind, everything would vanish before we could even realize it. Dark photons, the light of another world. Dark matter does not interact with light, but that does not mean it has no light of its own. Some theories suggest the existence of force-carrying particles that operate only within the dark sector of the universe. These particles are called dark photons. If they exist, then the reality we experience is not the whole universe, but only the part that is illuminated. Alongside it may exist another world with its own forces, its own structure, and interactions we cannot perceive. The two worlds could overlap without ever being aware of each other, like 2 radio channels broadcasting in the same space but on different frequencies. Experiments searching for dark photons have been conducted around the world. The result is silence. But in physics, silence never means nothing. Reality does not promise to be easy to understand. Look back at what we have. The universe requires dark matter to avoid falling apart, and dark energy to explain the shape of space. Gravity functions without a clearly defined force-carrying particle. The vacuum contains enough energy to destroy everything, while many predicted forces and particles have never appeared. This does not mean science has failed. It simply means reality is larger than human observation. Perhaps the universe was not designed for us to fully understand it. Perhaps it only allows us to see enough to survive, but not enough to control. And perhaps the most important things are always the ones that refuse to reveal themselves. When you look into the emptiness between the stars, remember that what holds the universe together may be right there, yet never asks to be seen.